Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's 4:30 a.m. I just made it to the gym. I remember when I used to come and I'd be here at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I was able to get around some other people, and I said, man, my energy's just kind of lagging. And some people who were serious about exercise, serious about taking care of their body, dropped a little nugget in my ear and said, man, you need to make sure that you eat in the morning. So now I get here a little bit later because I'll show a picture of it one day. I'll show exactly what it is that I do one day, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I'll just kind of run through a whole series of what it is that I do, so you have an idea about how my life kind of works on a regular basis. And he was just like, man, you need to eat something in the morning. And I was entirely grateful to this guy for telling me that, because I had totally missed the fact that I was missing something that was going to complete me and allow me to have a more productive workout, more productive morning. So now every morning I make this egg white omelet. I pre-cook the turkey. Excuse me. I pre-cook the turkey. I pre-cook like vegetables and bell peppers and all that really good stuff, spinach, mushrooms. Pretty much pre-do this all ahead of time, so it doesn't allow me to get out until about 4 o'clock. I usually leave the house. This morning I got out at 3:59, 3:58, after I gave everybody a kiss on the cheek, let them know I loved them. I got out the house, got into the car, and then made it here at 4:30. And what I wanted to share real quick was simply this. I've noticed that there were some flaws in my armor. There were chinks, is what they call them, which is weaknesses. And I wouldn't have been able to find those weaknesses had I not been honest with myself. Had I not been telling myself the truth the whole time, I don't think that I would be able to evolve to a point, to the point where I'd be able to keep going on. Here's a fact of the matter. If you're not telling yourself the truth, it's really hard to proceed forward with any type of plan, especially when there's goals in mind. And we all know that goals come with obstacles. They come with traps of deception. They come with the want and ability to want to quit whatever it is that you're doing. That's just a fact. And it becomes even harder when you're lying to yourself. And what I was lying to myself about was my relationship with my son. And that's something that I've worked on. I was telling myself one thing and convincing myself that that was reality, when in reality, I just was not communicating, and I was expecting somebody to do more than what I was willing to give. And that was the problem on that end. And I'm working on that. But the second problem was putting off things, important things, for tomorrow, right? Saying I can get to it. Not having enough motivation, not having enough why as to why I need to resolve it now. And that was a chink in my armor. That was a flaw. That was a heavy flaw that probably cost me thousands of dollars. The ability to take care of my family, the ability to reach my goals, it cost me. So I made a commitment, and that commitment was, if there's something that I need to do in that day, then I need to complete it. And if I want to have free time to myself, then I need to hold myself responsible to my business and what it is that I need to do, as much as I hold my kids to doing their homework before they can go outside and play, or finishing their food before they can have dessert. I need to make sure that I finish what it is that I said that I would do for this day before I decide that I can go to sleep or I can go have some free time. But I wouldn't have been able to get to that point had I not been honest with myself. Had I not been telling myself the truth the whole time, I would not have been able to get to that point where I could have an honest conversation about my relationship with my son. I couldn't have an honest conversation with myself about why is it that I'm failing to get the things done that I need to get done on a regular basis, that I've committed myself to, that I've obligated myself to, that I've said I would do and I know would further me and my family. The number one key I would leave with you is that if you're honest with yourself, those obstacles and those distractions that come at you are going to be easier to deal with. But if you're constantly trying to dump the problem on somebody else's lap, well, it's his fault, it's their fault, it's everybody else's fault but my fault, then I got to tell you, it's going to be very difficult to get through those things. It's going to be super difficult to get through all those different obstacles. That's my opinion. It's my fact. I've been doing these videos for over a year. If one thing you can learn about me is I'm very consistent in what it is that I'm doing. I'm consistent about what it is that I'm saying. I'm consistent about what it is that I believe. I'm consistent about what it is that I preach. And if I'm that consistent, that means I have nothing to gain by lying to anybody, but trying to help somebody by simply saying that you have to be honest with yourself. And the highest form of being honest with yourself is accountability. Hold yourself accountable for any and everything that may happen. That could be an accident, may happen in the car, and the guy rear ends you. Maybe there was something that you could have done to prevent that from happening. Grant Cardone gave an example of your electricity going out. Well, that's not the SRP's fault or APS's fault, depending on what area you're in, because you put your trust in a big power company that clearly had the ability to fail. Had you had a backup generator, this wouldn't be an issue. It gets deep. It gets deep. But I had to look inside and I had to take responsibility, and that's the only thing that's allowed me to get through these different steps and stages and these different pitfalls that I found myself being confronted with. And definitely past the point where I'm starting to see that there's chinks in my armor that I need to fix and eradicate in order to make sure that I can move forward and be as productive as I can. So that's the best I can share with you, is take responsibility. Take 200% responsibility for every single thing that happens in your life and around you. And anything that has nothing to do with you whatsoever, your name is not attached to it, then detach yourself away from this situation. Period, point blank. Stay blessed.